Hey guys, it is your girl Tasha, known to the world as the Tasha Carpenter, but everybody calls me your girl Tasha because when you hang with me, what? It's like you are hanging with your girl. And my favorite word is bam because I'm always being authentically me. And that's why people call me YGT. And as y'all know, I've also added on that hope pusher thing. I got to figure out how to work that out in this. But we are on here today for Hope Pusher Conversations. And I'm so glad to have my guest, Miss Monique-Radford, joining us today. Monique, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
I am a retired chef, which was my second career. My first career was communication in with AT&T in Southwestern Bell. I did that for like 32 years, which was a sit down job, so I didn't get much exercise. Then I went from a sit down job to owning my own company in catering, which was a stand on your feet all the time job. I did it for as long as I could until my feet literally gave out. They were painful. Um, I was taking neurological medicines, two of them, strong ones, dulled it, but didn't get rid of it. And they were still numb. So it got to where I could not stand in one spot. I'd have to
Monique,
keep, yes,
Miss Monique, you are moving right into your testimony. But let's talk a little bit more about yourself. I find that interesting that you were AT&T because I was Verizon.
oh, awesome.
I retired 5 years ago. CWA,
CWA, CWA.
actually CWA Local 2108 Vice President still
Yep,
currently as
I
well.
was 22, 22. Mm-hmm.
2222 in Virginia. All right.
Texas.
Oh, we got a 22
Or is it
22.
62, 62, 62, 22? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
it?
District 6 versus District 2. I'm about to say,
62,
I
22.
said you were 22, 22. You up here with me. Okay. Then you
Yeah,
like,
I'm here with Claude Cummings.
okay, I know Claude.
He's the president of the our union.
Yes, he's the president of CWA now, honey. He took
Oh,
over.
okay.
Now he's at the top of it. Absolutely. Okay, so that is interesting. So you said, and you worked with AT&T. Welcome to our guests who are joining. Feel free to make a comment, and guys, we will be responding to you while we're in the broadcast. So while you working for AT&T, you had a sedentary lifestyle, and you said because of that sedentary lifestyle, it turned into
It turned into weight gain, a lot of weight gain. Um, and then I worked s- as much overtime as I could possibly get. So I would get off work and go home, go to sleep, wake up, and go back to work. No
okay.
exercise in there at all, no walking or anything. I try to walk the parking lot on my lunch and my breaks, but that's nil to none as far as exercise go. So I worked 32 and a half years for them. And then I took a buyout and retired at 53 and a half. So that
Okay.
meant I had to, there was going to be several years in between there for me to start getting Social Security, um, or taking anything out of my, pension, getting any kind of payment out of my pension. So I started my own catering service, which was very, very successful. I made a lot of money in my catering here in the Houston area. And then I also do private cooking classes in people's homes. And the last job I did was a very large wedding, which I was basically on my feet for about 72 hours
Uh-huh.
prepping, um, for the 2 days prior to cutting up. They had a large, very large uh, charcuterie table, and everything had to be chopped and diced and shaped and all that other stuff. So that was like 72 hours on my
Okay.
feet. And with just maybe an hour or two break every now and then just to rest up. After that wedding, I could not walk for days. I had blisters on my feet. I already have an issue with my feet. I've had lots of surgeries on my feet. So I have a lot of nerve damage. And I basically started using canes, walkers, wheelchairs. I had to go visit my mom in the hospital. I had to get a wheelchair just to get from the parking lot into the building. I couldn't walk.
Okay.
So um, I saw a neurologist. She put me on two different types of heavy duty, what I call heavy duty medication, not for pain, but for the actual issue. And it dulled it. As far as the pain, it dulled it a little bit, but it never went away.
And
And
how long have you been dealing with that?
oh, let's see, at least 15 years, at
Okay.
least. And I had, I was on the medication for, it's been about 3 years. And I also have two types of um, joint issues, knees and ankles. And there's nothing that they can really give you for that. You can use over the counter, you can use prescription, but who wants to be drowsy all day? Brain fog all day? Nobody. So I
Exactly.
was just becoming a house person, staying in the house all the time, not going anywhere because I didn't want to deal with the pain. I have a 2-story house. I don't know if you can see it. There's
Yes,
stairs
ma'am.
going up there. I
Okay.
had not been up there in probably over 10 years. Even if there's an emergency up there, I call my neighbor and tell my neighbor, hey, can you go upstairs for me?
Okay. You
You
still
know,
do
I don't do it now because I don't need to, but
that. Okay. And what changed?
that's what I was doing. Soup patch changed. My neighbor, who is my the one who signed me up, Mr. Gary Lightfoot, he
Uh-huh.
had been he I saw something that he posted on Instagram, and I never see any of his posts. That's the first time I've ever run into a post that he posted. And I watched it and I'm like, what? I think he was dealing with a friend of his that something had happened to the friend about 6 years ago. And I said, that's impossible. So I called him and I said, what is this I'm looking at? He said, oh, I didn't tell you about Super Patch. I said, no. And you've been my neighbor for 15 years. You haven't told me a thing about it. He says, okay. And he told me about it on the phone. And, at first I said, okay, yeah, right. And I kind of just shrugged it off. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll send me the information and let me read up and research on it. And I will send you, I'll order something, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think he forgot about it because I didn't hear from him, for weeks and probably almost a month or more. And I had something happen to my heater upstairs, and I had a an AC, heater band come that was new to me. My daughter-in-law referred me to him. So he was here for the first time. I had the problem was upstairs. It took me every bit of 5, 6 minutes to get up those 18 steps. And the man was up there and he said, ma'am, would you like me to come help you? And I said, no, I'll get it. I just got to go slow. So I get up there, show him what's going on, what needs to happen. And I said, okay, now I'm going back downstairs because I need to recuperate. It takes me another 5 minutes to get down those 18 stairs. Then I'm
Okay.
exhausted. And I was laying here in this chair right here. I'm like, what happened to the patches that Gary was telling me about? You know? So I sent him a text and I said, what? I thought you were going to send me information about some patches. He said, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Are you home? I said, I'm always home. He said, I'll be there in 3 minutes. He was here in like three minutes for real. He brought those patches in. He tested me. I failed at first. Then he put the Liberty on my arm. He could not budge me at all.
So we
Neither way at all. And I
so for
said,
so
wow.
okay, so for our guest, when she says that he tested her, he performed a balance test on her, and that's something
Yes,
that
ma'am.
in order to
Mm-hmm.
check your front stability and side stability.
Right.
So he gently pushes down on her and she moved, but then he put the patch on and it sends that gentle signal to her brain to tell her body to do what it already knows how to do, and he couldn't budge her.
Not
Okay.
at all. Not
Okay.
at all. And then he said, okay, well, didn't you say you had some pain in your feet? I said, yes, severe pain. And he put a freedom on each one of my feet on the very top. And then I think he put and he put the victory on my left arm. And then he told me, he said, okay, just stand there and lift your legs, up and down a couple of times. Maybe for 2 minutes, I did that while we were talking. And somewhere in between there, my air conditioner man had gone outside to get something out of his truck. I didn't even notice him. And Gary said, okay, let me see you walk. See if you can walk without, and tell me how you feel. I only took like 3 steps forward. And I made a swivel around and said, what the heck? I didn't say heck though. I didn't say heck. And I said, what is in these patches? He said, there's nothing. I said, oh, don't tell me that lie. There's either morphine in it or CBD. I said, there's something in this patch. I said, because I have no pain. All my pain was gone from my feet, from my ankles, from my knees. I even have a false knee, and that was bothering me. And I just had that like maybe 2 years ago. I just had that. So it was clicking and popping and all that. All the pain was gone. Even I have pain in my shoulder because I sleep on this side. Even that pain was gone. And I'm like, no way can that happen that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I said, let me kick I had sandals on because I have not been able to go barefoot on any surface, at least for the last 15 years. Not even grass, not carpet, not wood, not tile, not cement. I have to have a rubber sole on my foot to walk. I kicked my sandals off and I started walking on my ceramic floor, went
Yes.
all over the house. I said, I don't believe this. And then I had a toe shortened about, it's been maybe 3 years. Yeah, about 3 years. And the little rod that they put in your toe and then they
To,
pull it out weeks later.
yes.
It hit a nerve and damaged the nerve. So my toe would never lay flat. It would be kind of up like that a little bit, up like that.
Okay.
I looked down and I said, oh my God, my toe is flat to the floor. And I said, let me see what else I can do, right? I said, let me see if I can go up these stairs. I went up those stairs without holding the railing, up and back in like 45 seconds, in full balance. I didn't have to hold the rails or anything. And I said, I don't know what's in these patches. I don't know how it works, but I have to invest in this. I have to. Can I buy shares in it? That's what I wanted to do, thinking, money wise. And he didn't know that information or whatever. He says, well, you can join the company and get your discount, and you can also sell them. And I said, oh no, I don't want to sell. I've already had my careers. I'm done. I'm in a place where I'm extremely comfortable. I don't want to work. I don't want to work anymore. And he said, okay. He said, you say that now. He said, but you'll see. So he invited me to, I think, Gail and BJ were
Okay.
having some type of event at a barbershop, beauty barbershop on the other side of town on that, I think it was on a Saturday. Yeah. And he said, well, come to the event so you'll learn more about the patches. And I did. Matter of fact, he picked me up. Him and his wife, Linda, picked me up and we went out there. And I met a lot of people out there that have severe back issues and all kinds of things. And I saw what it did for them as well. And before the event was over, I was like in the little office telling them, sign me up right now. I got to do this. Um, I'm with Super Patch for life. As far as using the product, I'm doing my best to sell the product, but I live in a rural community. It's small, and it's a lot of foreigners that probably are not supposed to be here. So they don't want to buy online. So I'm selling them, hand to hand, which is quite a bit slower than, just clicking on the link. I've done um, 3 events. Um, Events are kind of iffy here because there's so much scamming going on. It's a lot of scamming going on events. People in the comments saying, okay, you need to send your money to blah, 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 blah. And the person that is holding the event is not paying attention. So people get ripped off a lot here. So we have to be very careful.
Yeah,
Um,
gotta do I mean, that's kind of like everywhere happening, though. You just got to do your due diligence.
yeah.
Let's
And most of the big events here are like 150.
Mm-hmm.
So I try not to choose. I would love to do them. But since we're given a free test, which includes the patch, I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be probably too much for my crew. They don't want to do that. So we're sticking to the smaller events. I have a family reunion. My husband, my husband passed away a little bit more than a year ago, and his family reunion I still go to, and they have invited me to come and and patch people, and they're going
Okay.
to advertise it for me. So, and that's coming up in June, so in July, and then what do we have? We have an event on the 27th as well, and I'm looking into the one I'm working with now. They're waiting till the last minute to tell people whether they're accepted or not.
Okay. Well, I
I don't,
mean,
I
of
don't, I
course,
don't understand it, but I'm waiting. But I would rather keep looking for something else.
and
But I really wanted to do that one.
just remember you're able to events don't always have to cost anything. Of course, you also talking to your family and friends, like you already have one
Yeah.
other friends and family to allow you to come in and do those in-person discussions with them. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes if we really do follow the system that we have here, that they tell us to go ahead and just,
Hmm.
post people, video them, put it on the page and share it with people, you'll find as you're consistent to that, other people seeing you. Sometimes, like what we've experienced is that you have maybe local government people that do a lot of health and wellness events, and they'll reach out to you and ask you, will you just come and complimentary set up a table for them? Also, if
Yeah.
you could reach out to some local area, talking to some gyms, or maybe going to different places, beauty supply stores and things, and ask them would they allow you to
Hmm.
come in at customer appreciation day to be able to
Yeah.
give free balance test for whoever comes through. Those are different ways you can definitely do this. But it's like
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm doing beauty shops, and like farmers market type places, and the family reunion will be at a community civic center. So, and it's also a library. So I plan on, doing it there and then talking to the library to see if I can come because they have a huge lobby that's empty, totally empty. And they have a huge lobby, so I wouldn't be disturbing, people going into the library, but I would
Oh,
be out on the outside, but in the building, with just a table set up, and I have all my display stuff. I got most of that stuff on Amazon, and then I have a printer local here that I used to use for my catering, and she makes anything. She can make anything I need. Um, but I
okay.
really wanted to get that big one, and that's the one they still haven't told anybody whether they've accepted or denied. I don't know
It's
what
okay.
they're waiting on.
It's okay to come. Let's go back and look at we have Miss Faith Chan on, and I don't know when she came on, but she asked, "What are you using for the pain?" And now let's talk about how long you have been on. So, how many patches per day are you utilizing, and which patches are you utilizing?
When I first started, I had to have freedom on each foot when I
Mm-hmm.
first started.
Mm-hmm.
After about a month of that, but I had to have the liberty and the victory also
Okay.
on my arm. And then
Okay.
after about a month, I realized that one of the patches had fallen off my feet, but it still wasn't hurting. So
Okay.
over time, I just need one now, just one pain patch on the top of the foot. It has to be on the top of the foot for the pain to for it just to radiate all the way up to my brain, I guess.
Okay.
And it handles the other foot as well, without it
Oh,
being a patch on there.
and
So
now
somehow those. Mhm. Go
for
ahead.
those for those who are coming on late, you talked about almost 10 years of not being able to
15.
oh, 15 years
15.
of not being able to go upstairs in your own
Yes,
home
ma'am.
due to this pain. However, when Gary shared with you the patches,
Hmm.
that changed everything.
Everything. It changed my life. I don't stay home anymore. I get up and go. I can go shop for hours, which is something I love to do. I don't like to rush in and out of a store. I
Mm-hmm.
love to go shopping. I go see my friends. I'm planning on a couple of trips with my sister because we're the only survivors now of my small family. I do have a daughter and grandchildren, two granddaughters in Oklahoma. I need to give you her testimony too.
Okay, all right.
She had a paralyzed foot.
Okay, well, we definitely could take and have her on and talk to her as
Hmm.
well. So, what we want to do, because we're coming up on 30 minutes now,
Okay,
what would you say to the person who is skeptical and they're just watching?
just stick it on, leave it on, wear it at least a week or two before you make a decision because everybody's system is different. Mine just happened to be instant, like 2 minutes, but I've had clients that I've patched and it didn't happen instantly, but it happened within the week.
Okay, and so the recommendation that we do give is that people utilize the patch just consistently. That means every day for
Hmm. Yeah,
2 weeks.
a week, 2 weeks, a
Or
month. I mean, a month at least. If it's something chronic, such as
mm-hmm.
something you've had for multiple years, that's what's called chronic. You've had it a long time, so it's going to take a while to go away.
Right.
Once
It's about
that connection, that brain nerve connection is made.
right to
Hmm.
reprogram it.
Right.
Okay, so the key is what I'm hearing is if you're just watching and you're seeing and you're thinking it's skeptical, the best thing to do is just go ahead and experience it. Find someone who's in your area and let them put the patch on you.
Hmm.
What is it going to do, right?
Right.
What what are you going to lose? That's what they always say, right? What do you
Right.
have to lose but to put it on you? It's like putting a band-aid
Right.
on you. If it
Yeah.
works.
Now, yeah. Now, I've had a client that was in a rollover 18-wheeler crash. Another neighbor dropped him off at my house. He called me first and said, what happened, and I said, okay, bring him over here. And they dropped him off over here, and he came in all bent over and said he couldn't lift his arms, because he got thrown around in the cab of the truck. So he sat down, and I put pain patches on probably every part of his body, and then I put liberty and two victories: peace and defend. And within 15 minutes, he was on his way out the front door, dancing and waving his arms like this.
All right now. All right
Now,
now.
but
And
this
now,
is the kicker. The next day he called me. He says, those patches didn't work. I said, excuse me? I said, what do you mean they don't work? I said, I saw you lift your arms. I saw you dancing. I got you on my security camera dancing. I saved it, right? He
uh-huh.
says, well, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they weren't working anymore. He said, I had taken a shower and took them off and then I put them back on. I said, well, didn't I tell you not to take them off? He took them off, took a
But
shower, and then tried to stick them back on.
so that can impact the connection and things like.
Absolutely, it will. Yeah.
However, even if he had kept them on the whole time and he received relief and then a relief went away, that again, we're talking about utilizing them consistently because, as we said, everybody's an individual. Your
Hmm.
body's going to respond differently. Some people may not notice anything the first week or whatever, but for every
Right.
that's there, you got to take the chance. Some people are sitting up here every day taking medication that has all these side effects and they not noticing anything either, just hoping and
Right.
praying,
They're still in pain. They're still in pain. The pain
right?
doesn't go away with medication. It does not. It
Right. But
doesn't go away. It just makes you know, maybe, kind of foggy or sleepy, and you don't notice it while you're asleep,
exactly. So
but the pain is still there.
that's it. So we're gonna leave it at that for people that should go out and try the patches.
Hmm.
Also, for people who are just interested in helping to impact people's lives too. You know, if you're looking for an opportunity, this is your opportunity to be a part of the future of wellness. And it's not even really
Hmm.
future wellness because it's here now. Okay.
It's here. It's here to stay. It's here to stay.
It's here now and it's here to stay. And we need to
Hmm.
be able to get this out to more and more people. So we are looking for the right mindset of people to
Right.
come and join us in this mission to patch 1 million. So I want to
Mm.
just say thank you, Miss Monique, for coming on
You're
today and
welcome.
sharing your testimony. And I look forward to seeing more about what you have going on in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who joined us today.